Welcome back. This is Dr. Jin Sung, where clinical excellence meets excellent results. Today we're going to talk about infertility, diet, and lifestyle. What are the dietary and lifestyle impacts on infertility? Over the last several weeks, we've been talking about different mechanisms of infertility, but let's go into what some of the lifestyle factors that impact infertility in both men and women. So we're going to go into this. Number one is obesity. Number two, exercise, smoking, alcohol, caffeine, illicit drugs, pesticides, and psychological stress. What do all of these things have in common? They all increase oxidative stress to our system, to our body. Oxidative stress, simply put, is basically like if you took a piece of iron and you left it out in the snow and the salt and sand and left it in the weather, that's really bad. It starts to rust. So things that make our body rust from the inside are these factors, right? So obesity, why would that happen? So people who are obese tend to, not all of them, but tend to eat processed foods, carbonated drinks, caffeinated drinks. So obesity is just basically having a poor dietary intake for the most part. Not always, but for the most part. Exercise can be too much exercise. Someone who exercises 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, and they put their body under significant stress. So they may look very lean and in shape. However, they don't even have a lot of body fat to get pregnant. So exercise can be a factor. Smoking is obvious. Alcohol is obvious. Caffeine also messes with your adrenals, so that can affect hormonal pathways. Illicit drugs is obvious. Pesticides. So there's a lot of herbicides and pesticides that are used in our foods, right? Things like Roundup, right? Glyphosate. So when we look at this, these herbicides and pesticides bind to our food, right? And it changes the molecular components of food. So our body looks at it and goes, that looks like gluten, but what is all that stuff attached to it? It can be herbicides and pesticides. Now you change the molecular structure and how your body identifies gluten, because it has herbicides and pesticides to it. So the fact that gluten can be hybridized and changed, and then you add in herbicides and pesticides that bind to it, will start to change how your body reacts to it. So your immune system will overreact to these types of foods. Now, organic foods, when we say organic here, not all organic foods are made the same, right? There's a lot of residue of herbicides and pesticides in organic foods. And if you look at the research or look at some of the studies that have been done with organic foods, you'll find that there are a lot of things that are in there that you don't expect to be in there, right? The other thing is psychological stress. Psychological stress throws your cortisol levels up, and cortisol impacts the brain impacts everything else. So psychological stress is a huge factor in terms of being able to get pregnant, because stress changes hormonal pathways. So changing hormonal pathways, changing how your body deals with oxidative stress, all play a part in how, if you can get pregnant. So in women, it can lead to things like PCOS, or polycystic ovarian syndrome, uterine fibroids, and endometriosis. So lifestyle factors will play a direct role in how the uterine health is, the mucosal health of the uterus and the vaginal canal, in terms of how you may or may not be able to get pregnant. In men, it's about sperm health, right? All these factors will play a part in terms of how much sperm is produced and how the quantity is, right? So let's take an example. When we have obesity in men, let's say, and they're overweight, the temperature of the scrotum where the sperm is produced will be higher than normal, right? When that happens, the sperm production will go down. Sperm production will occur at certain temperatures, right? Temperature below your body temperature of 98.6, right? So if you look at this, you have to look at it in terms of obesity in men and temperature. So the scrotal temperature tends to be higher, therefore they cannot produce the proper quantity or quality of the sperm, right? That's just a simple fact. So on our next video, we're going to talk about obesity and how it impacts women in general. And then the following video will be how obesity impacts the men. And we'll go into that in detail. My name is Dr. Jin Sung, where clinical excellence meets excellent results. And if you would like me to go ahead and discuss each individual item here in detail in separate videos, please put a thumbs up or a like in the comment section. Therefore, I'll know to make more videos on these topics. All right? My name is Dr. Jin Sung, where clinical excellence meets excellent results, and we'll see you guys next week on the healthy side. Have an awesome day.